That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good to see everyone. The board meeting of the Park District of Highland Park is hereby called to order at 6:05 p.m. on Tuesday, January 26th, 2016, here at the lovely West Ridge Center. Could we please call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein.
Here.
Commissioner Flores-Weiskopf.
Here.
Commissioner Kaplan. Vice President Ruttenberg.
Here.
President Myers.
And I am here as well. Good to see everyone again. We have a fairly quiet agenda this evening, but the first item before we get to our specific Park District business is a public hearing for the issuance of $3 million of general obligation limited tax park bonds for park improvement purposes. As you all recall, this has been discussed extensively in a variety of prior meetings, both regular meetings and workshop, as well as a variety of greenlight meetings as well. So there is really nothing new or remarkable about this, but state law requires us to follow a particular procedure in order to authorize the issuance of the bonds. So I will proceed in accordance with Illinois state law. A public hearing for the issuance of $3 million general obligation limited tax park bonds for park improvements for the Park District of Highland Park is now in session. Kathy, would you please call the roll again?
Commissioner Bernstein.
Here.
Commissioner Flores-Weiskopf.
Here.
Commissioner Kaplan.
Here.
Vice President Ruttenberg.
Here.
President Myers.
And I'm still here as well, so thank you all for not ducking out in between now and the introduction. If there are any members of the Board of Commissioners who wish to comment on this issuance? Okay, hearing none. Executive Director McElroy, are you aware of any written communications that were received related to the Park District's issuance of tax bonds?
We have received nothing.
Excellent. Are there any citizens in attendance this evening who would like to comment? Let the record reflect that there was no one interested from the community in speaking on this topic. Please note that if any written or oral testimony is provided during the hearing, which is not the case, the board is not obligated to respond to any such testimony. However, since we have no comments from the public and no responses necessary, so let the record show that there were no members of the community or Board of Commissioners who have chosen to speak to this issue. Okay. So, could I get a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein.
Aye.
Commissioner Flores-Weiskopf.
Aye.
Commissioner Kaplan.
Aye.
Vice President Ruttenberg.
Aye.
President Myers.
Aye. Motion is carried. The issuance is approved. The hearing is closed. And we can now proceed with the rest of our agenda. Thank you all very much. First item are additions to the agenda. I actually have one in the nature of an update, but let me see if there's anyone else from the board that would like to add anything. I would like to add, as an update to the commissioners and anyone watching at home, an update as to the current situation involving Park Avenue Beach and the power boating situation. We will not be taking formal action on anything this evening, but I did want to make you all aware of some developments and some conversations. I would say very productive conversations I've been having with Tony Bloomberg, who is with us this evening. And I know Councilman Bloomberg had asked for an opportunity to address the board on this topic as well. So let me start with that, and then we can take it from there. And yeah, I think that would be best. We've got the cameras and we're recording tonight.
I want to give you an update before I speak about the specific things that have been going on. It came to my attention that the public relations statement that the city made was one which was quite likely perceived as reflecting ill on this board, and for that I apologize. I've had several conversations with President Meyer in which he brought that to my attention and explained how it could be construed in that way, which I agreed with. For that reason, it was removed in all places that we were able to remove it. I appreciate your patience with that. It was not our intention to reflect ill upon the board, but to clarify some issues with respect to the city, and evidently we went beyond that, and I appreciate your patience. I would also like to thank all of you and President Meyer. As I said when I last spoke here, I personally felt that there might be opportunities to have power boating at the Park Avenue Beach understanding the limitations that the city has with respect to the West Road and the findings of the Park District with respect to the safety of the proposals by the task force. And you've been kind enough to indulge me with that. I was contacted back on Saturday, actually on Friday evening, to attend an informal sort of ad hoc group formed by previous members of the task force and other interested residents and boaters who asked me to attend this meeting at the police department to see if there were ways that power boating could be accomplished at the Park Avenue Beach, and I agreed to do that. I've shared some of those discussions with Scott. There were no commitments made, but everybody understood that the goal was to find some sort of a workaround, which we'd like to do. I immediately contacted our city manager, Gita Newkirk, and our director of public works, Ramesh Kennapareddy. They are on board. It is my personal feeling that if a solution of some sort is going to be found, it has to be found by the end of February, in fairness to the boaters. If for some unlikely reason it cannot be found, they have to have enough time to make other arrangements with other boat launches. But I am confident that we will be able to find a workable solution. On February 1st, I'm meeting with President Meyer, a couple of our staff members and our manager and your manager and some of your staff members so that we can figure out what it is we can all do, what we're able to do, and what we can do without getting in each other's hair. That may be an easier task for you where I'm concerned. But beyond that, we want to make sure that we can get this done without jeopardizing anybody's existing programs. So I'm very pleased about that and confident, and after we sort of establish where we are with each other, this group of people have essentially volunteered several of their members to participate in ongoing discussions. And as you've done in the past and we've done in the past, we want to keep residents involved in whatever the process is. It's going to have to be informal because it has to be quick, which is why we're having these meetings rapidly. So thank you all for your indulgence. That's our update. After we all meet next week, I'm sure you'll get a further report.
Excellent. Thank
See
you,
how it
Councilman,
goes.
for the update. And just to amplify on that a little bit, and just to make sure that the board is all on the same page so we can have a very constructive conversation next week, which I'm very confident that we will. I think one of the nice things about our conversation has been, I think, a genuine commitment on both parties to try and figure out how to get to a solution, a real desire to try and maintain power boating subject to the constraints under which both of our agencies are working. And I think the thing that we recognize is that we are working under very different constraints, which turns out to be a good thing in the sense that, for example, although the city certainly has theoretically the plenary authority to do whatever it wishes down at Park Avenue Beach, Councilman Bloomberg was very clear that he does not want to step on Park District toes. The city does not want to step on the Park District toes and get in the way of the programming that we have down there. One of the potential approaches that I would like to discuss with Councilman Bloomberg next week would be to try and get the Park District out of the city's way to some extent, so as to facilitate their ability to use their property and their different set of constraints to get to a solution that doesn't impact the Park District adversely. And towards that end, as you know, this ultimately comes down to a constraint issue. We have I think, collective concern that there are a lot of different users of the space down there. We have pedestrians, we have power boaters, we have sailors, and significantly from the Park District's perspective, we also have one of our summer camp programs. And so one possible approach that we could take that I think would be worth the discussion would be to relocate our summer programs from Park Avenue Beach to Rosewood Beach, which is something that we have been discussing for a while in any event. I understand from staff that it's certainly logistically feasible without adversely impacting our campers or the programming at all. And if we were to do that, then really the only programming left from the Park District is largely what I would call in our capacity as a landlord. We're a landlord to the North Shore Yacht Club. We rent them their space in their building, and we effectively rent launch space to the power boaters right now, all of which really is not a function of what I would call our core competencies or expertise. So there certainly would be an opportunity to discuss a different allocation of those responsibilities. I think the most significant issue from the park district, really where we are significantly involved, would be from the camp perspective. So what I'd like to make sure is that we have a consensus among the board here that I'm authorized to have that conversation with Tony next week, and to make sure we have no concerns about relocating those camp programs, in which case I think that gives us a fairly blank slate in terms of letting the city see what they can do to make power boating work down there under their set of constraints. So any questions or concerns about the relocation of our one summer camp program that's currently down there, if we were to do that? Excellent. Well, I think we will have some very useful things to talk about next week, and thank you for your time and attention to this issue. I think.
Thank you as well. One last thing I want to add, and I know you join in this. There is a petition that I think has been somewhat misconstrued, and there are signs popping up in a few places around Highland Park to save Park Avenue Beach access. I want to make it very clear that Park Avenue Beach remains open, and anybody can go down there at any time that they previously could go down there, with the exception of power boating, and it's far from power boating season at the moment. You can do pretty much whatever you want. It's quite icy, but you can go down and look at the lake. You can fish. You can park a car down there. You can dwell on whatever you want to dwell on. Park Avenue Beach is open. So to the extent that some people have addressed the city or may have addressed the Park District that access to Park Avenue Beach is ending and they want to protest that, it isn't.
That is very well said. In fact, to the contrary, I would say both the city and the Park District are working to ensure continued access.
Exactly.
To Park, which is the irony of the entire situation.
Right. Thanks.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any requests from the public for comments on any of the items on our agenda this evening? Okay. So that brings us to our next item, which is our consent agenda. You see before you items A through E, all of which have been previously provided in our board packets or discussed at prior meetings. Are there any requests to remove any items from the consent agenda? Are there any questions or comments on items in the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, could I please get a motion to approve the consent agenda as currently listed?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we call the roll, please?
Commissioner Bernstein?
Aye.
Commissioner Flores Weiskopf?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Aye.
Vice President Ruttenberg?
Aye.
President Myers?
Aye, the consent agenda is approved. Thank you. Next item will be very quick. Unfinished business, there is none. So that will bring us to our treasurer's report. Director Curtis, nice to see you again.
Hello, everybody. Actually, I don't have a very lengthy report either. So, with the completion of the BINA hearing, we have passed one of our major hurdles in this bond issuance. Just to keep you updated, I have received the preliminary official statement and have started reviewing that. So that's a process that takes about 4 or 5 weeks to get through. And then the other big event that will be happening is next Wednesday. We have a bond rating call with Moody's investors. So we will be re-rated during this whole process, and that call is happening on Wednesday. So that's pretty much it for the bonds. And for the year-end numbers that are in your treasurer's report, I think I stamped preliminary on every piece of paper that was there, just to make sure that everybody understood that these numbers are far from being finalized. Most of the operating revenue is been posted. The expenditures have not. It's just part of the accounting process. So many of our expenditures come through our P-card purchasing, and so that download hasn't happened yet for the statements. But some of the ones that are complete are salaries and pension. Those are the two big items that are complete in terms of year end. I don't believe I foresee any adjustments there. But as I say that with hesitation, because as we go through and review everything in preparation for the audit, something could pop up that I'm just not aware of at this time. So I don't really have too much to say.
So regarding the upcoming ratings call, do we have any reason to believe that there would be an adjustment to our rating?
None whatsoever.
Excellent.
None
We're in as good, if
whatsoever.
not
No.
better financial condition than we were the last time we were rated, correct?
Correct. It's our financial condition, but it's also the community that we're working with and for. That so we're on solid footing in both pieces of that puzzle.
Excellent.
I will comment that there was speculation a few months back that due to the city's rating, the city of Chicago that is,
And the state of Illinois.
and the state of Illinois, that their financial condition may have impact on some agencies in their Moody ratings. We have talked with our financial advisor who is suggesting he doesn't believe that we will be affected, but you always want to put that out there. We have no control over that, but we've been through this process before. We did it in 2013 and everything was fine, but obviously things that are out of our control have changed. But from the Park District's financial position, the community in which we live, we believe that we will be okay, but I just want to put that out there.
In terms of the process, if there is a potential downward adjustment, would we have an opportunity to address that before
Yes.
that becomes final,
Yes,
so sort of
yes,
an
yes,
interim appellate
yes,
process?
yes. And also, if during our conversation something is misunderstood or isn't received in the right manner, we'll have an opportunity to address all of
So
that.
this will not sneak up on us?
No.
Not that
No,
we're
oh, no.
expecting it, but I just want to make sure we have an opportunity.
Not at all. I'll be watching that.
To address. Excellent. Well, I look forward to hearing back as soon as we, I'd like to hear how the hearing go, or the
Yeah.
call goes.
We have a prep call on
On
Monday. And Annette and I will both participate in both calls. And
Yes.
then I'll let everyone know
Excellent.
what the initial reaction was, because we will have some of our financial people here with us, and then we'll be on the phone with Moody's, so
Correct.
Fantastic.
we'll report back.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
I just have one question. Highland Park Country Club, I just am, do we have current information, or did I miss a footnote saying that they're a month behind still?
They are not a month behind any longer. This is as of 12/31, but again, these are preliminary numbers. I have some questions for them. Actually, Dan and I both have some questions for Kemper regarding the operations of the country club. So I'm still calling this preliminary until we're satisfied with all of our answers to the questions that we have. So, but I do believe, I know that this includes both November and December's, that they have caught up, and they keep, they have assured me that all the expenses are included, but again, I'm hesitant to say that until we're through the audit process and everything.
Thank you.
Okay?
Any other questions from the board?
Finance never sleeps.
Never. Just keeps rolling along.
We'll get T-shirts for your team on that. Too. Thanks, Annette.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody have any questions
for
about, these are for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about the payments or anything on the checks? Nope.
No.
Okay,
We're good.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to new business, our director's report. Liza.
So this weekend, actually beginning on Thursday of this week, which would be January 28th, the Illinois Park and Recreation Conference begins. The annual conference is downtown, and I do want to report that our own Lori Flores-Weisskopf is serving on the IAPD Education Committee, so she has had a hand in planning a number of the educational sessions really geared towards commissioners, elected officials, and directors. So Lori will be an active participant and host. And then we have a number of staff that attend, because this really is, as educational opportunities, networking, and exhibit hall features. Illinois is probably one of the premier states in the country, so we don't send our staff to the national conference. We feel that we get more bang for our buck out of this conference. And as reported at the end of 2015, at our last meeting of 2015, the Park District of Highland Park will receive the Facility of the Year Award for Rosewood Beach. That will take place Friday night at the Illinois Park and Recreation Association's annual meeting. So if anyone is able to attend, we will welcome that. And then the conference wraps up Saturday. So it's a great opportunity for networking, some really good sessions, good elected official sessions, as well as sessions that touch all areas of our industry. And we look forward to it. So that's the report on the state conference. We're also submitting our website and a couple of other things that are not coming to me for the agency showcase, which is really all about our marketing and communications. And Liz is going to tell me what the other things are.
The Deer Creek Graphic Club and the Body Transformation.
So, and a good segue to the body transformation is that January, as many of you make resolutions or don't, many always vow for, or they resolve to participate in more active endeavors, exercise, diet, etc. And so to help people, or to facilitate that, the Recreation Center has been doing a body transformation challenge for the last number of years. And I am happy to report that registration is now closed, so if you missed your chance, too bad. But if you're in, we have 215 participants. Last year we had 165.
Great.
So through good promotions and good group exercise staff and good staff at the rec center, sort of that team effort that we often allude to, this is the highest number of participants that we have had. So that's a good thing. And sort of to play that up, we had held a sort of an open house at the rec center, one of the 10th anniversary special events, and so we had a lot of people come. We had all the staff there. We had free demos, so I think that inspired some people. We had a really nice turnout, a lot of families and whatnot. So for those of you participating, good luck. There are contests and raffles and all kinds of things. So. Upcoming events, Saturday, February 6th, we have our Nature Discovery Day at the Heller Nature Center, another free family event with some cool outdoor things, as well as some animals and arts projects and whatnot on the inside. We also have the Glass Slipper Ball, aka Daddy-Daughter Date Night, at the Rec Center on February 20th, which is always a big event. There is also a family tennis night at Deer Creek on February 6th from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. And public service note, the Park District of Highland Park, as you know, employs hundreds of teenagers and college students for a variety of jobs in the summertime. We are one of the largest employers in Highland Park, along with the hospital and then obviously the school districts. So we are looking for lifeguards, we're looking for camp counselors, we're looking for people to work in our parks. So if you know of qualified, good candidates, please see our website, log on.
What's the age cutoff?
We will hire at 15. We prefer, obviously 16. I think we issue a work permit or something when we're 15, and then 16 is really the start year.
Yep.
So lots of opportunities. Many of you have had kids who have worked for us or have kids who will work for us. But it's a great opportunity, and we are always looking for people. And I will throw an additional plug in for NSSRA, our Special Recreation Association, for people who might want to get involved in working with kids that have special needs, physical and or mental challenges, that NSSRA is also always looking for staff. And what we do is NSSRA trains staff, and then they come and work in different camps in the different member agencies of NSSRA. So there are a lot of opportunities for jobs. Now's the time, so get your applications in. And I think that is what I have. We did host the Martin Luther King Day of Service at the Recreation Center, and from all of our perspective, we think it was the best ever. The energy was amazing. One of the people responsible for the event is in our audience, and I will bet anything that she may wish to comment, but congratulations to you on a really terrific event. So,
All of you and your cooperation and the way that you handle things. I mean, I could have sat on a chair and not done anything because everybody did it for me. It was wonderful. I appreciate all of your work, from the parking lot being cleared to everything in place, to Liz doing all that work, getting us a photographer, all of you coming and schlepping
Thank you.
No,
And our
she meant
sincere-
Lynn. She meant Lynn.
She was looking at me when she said that.
I liked your speech, though.
Thank you. Thank you. And on behalf of the Park District, our sincere thanks to you. You threw an extraordinary event. It really was just seamless. I almost take for granted how well it was run. So, and I'm going to give you credit for it whether you want it or not.
I didn't take any of you for granted. I appreciate all of your efforts, and you make me look good.
And,
It's our job, Mrs. B.
and in all seriousness, a very special and sincere shout out to Lynn Epps, who really just crushed that speech. Every time he does it, I get chills. It is just amazing to behold. If you've not had a chance to see it, you should definitely go next year just to watch him do that recitation. And I always have the misfortune of having to follow him on the stage. It's a very humbling experience. He is extraordinary. All right. Anything else, Liza, from you or your team?
Nope, I
Scott?
don't think I missed anything.
This I wasn't going to. I was going to try to get through the whole meeting without speaking tonight, but I couldn't do it.
No way.
From your
But
mouth to
what I
God's
really want to highlight is that in the director's report, these are actually really important numbers because this is end of the year, and I just want to focus on a couple of our facilities because it's all good. Because if you look at our golf numbers, actually,
numbers were great.
the golf numbers were 2,000. We had 2,000 more rounds this year than last year at Sunset Valley, which I think we should highlight that. I mean, that is important. The second thing is about the golf numbers is if you notice that the pass holder rounds have decreased and our green fee rounds have increased, which are more profitable for the district. So I think that the way what's going on at Sunset Valley right now is trending. I mean, I know a lot of it's dependent on the weather, but I think it's trending upwards. And so I think I wanted to highlight that, number one. The second thing is with regard to the rec center. Again, our numbers are keep increasing there. It's like we're the victim of our own success there, and especially the personal training numbers are gone through the roof. I mean, they've more than doubled from 2014 to 2015. So our personal training staff must be doing something right there because it seems like that area of the rec center is just growing exponentially. The other things I wanted to point out is I thought it was really interesting that on our website we had 112% more hits this year than we had last year, which is incredible that the amount of time and people are spending, double the amount of people are looking at our websites than they did in 2014. So, it's a testament to our website. It's easy to use, and I think people are finding it easy to navigate, and they're using it more and more, obviously. As we can see, it's more than double the previous year to get information from the Park District. And last, which I was actually surprised to see, which I'm glad to say, actually our grant and aid, we actually had more money last year, and more people were able to take advantage of our grant and aid. People who are less fortunate to afford Park District programming and facilities actually got a little bit more money last year, and I think that is also a nice thing that the district has done. So, again, it's all good. I thought these year-end numbers were very, very positive, and I just wanted to highlight those.
Very well said and point very well taken. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Any other comments from the board? All right. Would anyone from the public like to address the non-agenda items? All right. Hearing none, could I please get a motion to go into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Open Meetings Act? Section 2C1, 2C5, 2C6, 2C8, 2C11, 2C21, and 2C29.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Could we please call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein?
Aye.
Commissioner Flores-Weiskopf?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Aye.
Vice President Ruttenberg?
Aye.
President Myers?
Aye. We're closed. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Liza, those